Hi, I'm Jason Buffington, Principal Analyst at ESG. There's a lot of evolution, transformation, and confusion around data protection these days. And frankly, what one vendor calls innovation, another vendor calls table stakes that they've been doing for years. And honestly, some of the innovations get less interesting as what used to be differentiators become commoditized. So let's break it all down in what I call the 5 C's of data protection. The first C is container. Not the virtualization concept, but a container of just where will the data be stored, including tape, cloud services, simple disk, and deduplicated disk. Yes, there are economic and agility differences between tape, disk, and cloud, but at the end of the day, most organizations really should be using all of these media types. Our next C is conduit, which is just a fancy way of saying data movers, including generic backups, workload-specific backups, replication, snapshots, direct production to protection storage. How are the ones and zeros going to move from the production storage services and servers to the containers of choice? Most organizations will use multiple data movers or conduits. You'll combine snapshots and replication and backup. You may have VM-specific or database-specific backup mechanisms. And because you're going to have multiple data movers, conduits, because you're going to have multiple containers, disks and tapes and clouds, conduits and containers really are tactical. How data protection will happen. But that's going to get muddier and heterogeneous over time, so let's look at what really matters in the strategic aspects of data protection. Our third C is control. It's the policy engine. Because you likely will have multiple data movers or methods, it sure would be beneficial to have a single set of policies that were governing all of it. If you have unified backup engine that protects all your workloads and also integrates with your storage for snaps and replication, then you might have a leg up on this one. But as folks bring in supplemental tools for VMs, for databases, for SaaS applications, the need for policy and oversight, whether it's in the data protection UI, a systems management UI, or somewhere else, the lack of a robust policy engine control will almost inevitably cause either overprotection, needlessly protecting the same data in multiple ways and consuming space that's unnecessary, or underprotection, missing production workloads because the vAdmin thinks the DBA is protecting the data, and the DBA thinks the vAdmin is protecting the whole VM, and both are wrong, and neither one figures it out until the one asks the other for restore, and they can't. Our fourth C is console. What is the UI that you're going to use to monitor all this? Maybe it grew out of a traditional data protection or backup UI. Maybe it's your hypervisor UI or a systems management UI. But what console or consoles will you use, and who will be the operators of those consoles? Now, that being said, can you do more than monitor or observe? Can you manage by taking action? Can you gain insights to actually understand what's going on and why instead of just metrics or green, yellow, red? Ideally, can the infrastructure manage itself? Can it glean the insights of what's actually happening, compare that with the policies and the control layer, and autonomously adapt or enable? Those last ideas are exciting because it gets humans out of the grind and lets you focus on the smarter parts of IT that require creativity, not repetitive minutia. That said, neither you nor your autonomous data management solution can do much without the catalog. What data do you have? What are the regulatory, operational, or criticality of that data? Where are all the places that you have copies of that data, and why are you keeping it or each of its copies, and for how long? If you have a robust catalog, not just an index of what you backed up or archived, but a rich and comprehensive understanding of the data across your various containers, then, perhaps only then, can you do things like copy data management, keeping what you need, discarding the rest, enabling new scenarios. In fact, with the right catalog at the center of your policy controller and your management console, you really are in data management, not just data protection, data availability, data preservation. 5 years from now, data protection may not even be a standalone thing, or at least not built out of separate products or widgets. Instead, you'll define policies and the infrastructure will just do it. How often, how long, where at. You won't or shouldn't care about where the zeros and ones are stored, how they move between platforms, on what media they reside, as long as you can reliably get to what you need when you need it. You're going to care less about the conduits and the containers. What you will care about are the policies that define the SLA retention, the efficiency. Where is my stuff? Am I keeping what I need? Am I deleting what I don't? How else can I leverage what I've got? You're going to care more about control through your console, powered by your catalog. There are some other C's that are worth consideration: cost, complexity, credibility, collaboration, corporate culture. But those will have to wait for another day. Data management is the future, and it starts with at least 5 C's.